Let me make sure my microphone is set up. Is it on? Yep. Okay. So yeah, I was actually supposed to have my weekly meeting with my content manager, but he's not available today. So I'm going to have just the first hour between 3 and 4 my time. Just going to have an open dialogue. We can talk about anything and everything, like we always do. And then at 4, meaning in an hour, I'm going to have my weekly meeting with my clients. So that's going to take place then, and you get to listen in on that. So that's the normal Tuesday afternoon structure as far as what I do on my channel with these lives. And when did I have my last one? Sunday night. So that was actually a good one. We had lots of good conversations. And before I forget, today I'm going to have my new video come out as well. So it's about, what is it about? It's one of those larger topics, more in-depth video. This is what I was talking about last time, that I've been thinking about my content a lot as far as how can I go deeper, how can I provide more value, because I felt that over the last 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even a couple of months, I've been too superficial, so high level with my content. So my videos have felt more like promotional 5-minute blasts instead of kind of in-depth or deep dives into my topics. So that's what I wanted to fix with the new content going forward. And the first example of that, I don't know what you guys think about it, it's going to come out tonight. Today is Tuesday, yes, in a few hours. And hey, and like I said, so today is going to be the day when the first video is going to come out. That's going to be more in depth as far as what I talk about. And this is more from the perspective of what the first 30 days should look like if you are buying your rentals. So this is more for people starting in real estate, buying rentals, and dipping their toes in cold water, so to say, and kind of like my first 30-day playbook. And these were the topics that I talked about. So these 5 on the whiteboard: day 1 priorities, set expectations, protect your cash flow, fast turnovers, and scale with structure. So that's what the video is going to go over, and it's probably going to be anywhere between 20 and 23 minutes. Not that the length really matters, but obviously if you talk about something for a couple of minutes, it's hard to go really deep. So that's, hey, yeah, you're from India, welcome. I believe I have quite a few subscribers from your country. At least in the past, that was the case when I did more generic business content. So anyhow, so feel free to comment, ask any questions. This is not strictly business. This has always been all over the place as far as what I talk about. And last time, what did we go over? We covered some corporate employee, teamwork dynamics type conversations. We had my famous topics about how to focus and how to understand what's relevant in your life, and everything from A to Z. That's very typical. And my real objective with these lives is just to go behind the scenes and just give everybody an opportunity to see what I do, raw and real, no edits. There's no post-production with this stuff, and that's why I like this so much. And that's what I'm going to do with my longer videos as well. So less editing, more like a conversational type style, more like one-on-one coaching type style. And because I felt that in the past I was constantly in a hurry in front of the camera, and I felt that I had to nail the hook, and I had to nail, like within 30 seconds I had to provide value, otherwise people would disappear and whatnot. And then I started thinking about it, that more from the perspective of, okay, so well, this is my style. I can talk forever, but of course I still need to understand that I can't just keep on and on and on, or go on and on and on without providing value or being off topic too much. So of course there's going to be a clear hook, but then the message part is going to be beefier going forward. And hopefully I can provide value. Like I said, I want to be known as somebody who really cares about the audience and what they really need, and then see if people like it, and that's it. State the facts, tell the truth. Anyhow, so yeah, but today's agenda, what did I do today? For those of you who have listened to me in the past, I'm the biggest fan of understanding what's relevant, what's irrelevant in your life, and I call it noise versus signal. So every day when you live in this 1 day cycle, so you wake up and you completely ignore what happened yesterday because today you have to start from scratch. Also applies to your focus. Every morning you ask yourself, what's today's signal? What's that one thing, or what are those two things max that you have to do today to keep the ball moving forward and to make the most progress during that day? And for me, today's signal was to go and take care of my body. I went to the gym and trained in the morning, and then I started drafting, preparing for my next video. So I'm pretty much in the mode of prepping, studying, and recording. So like getting ready for the next video, collecting data, putting together my material, and then getting ready for the recording session, and then actually recording. So that's pretty much all I do, because I'm still in the phase of creating attention, which means that I want to make sure that I market and promote, which is, I mean, this YouTube content is my way of creating attention. That's how I market my services. That's how I promote what I do. It's all free, but still, it's one form of advertising, if you will. And then that's why I need to just focus on that, because that moves the ball forward in giant leaps for me. If I want to sell a house in a town in India of 30 by 50 feet, how much should I demand? Okay, I don't know your particular town in any way. I mean, it would be impossible for me to tell, but if you want to give me or send me an offline comment or a note, I'm more than happy to give you my 2 cents as far as how to price that and what things to consider in terms of selling. But real estate is always a local game, so you need to understand your values. If you're a real estate investor, the first topic that comes to mind is ARV, after repair value, or the market value of the property. It's no different if you're just a homeowner living in your own property. You just need to understand the value. Of course, real estate agents do that for you, but if you want to list it as a for sale by owner, then the first thing would be to collect the comps, see what comparable properties sold for, what are they listed at right now, and then determine your own value equation that way, and then go from there. It's really important to understand the marketplace and understand where the values are. If you're an investor and you want to buy something at a wholesale price level and build equity that way, then it's even more important, because the whole game is all about appreciation. Understanding that no investor, if you call yourself an investor, I'm not talking about you, but overall, if you want to be a real estate investor, you need to understand the concept of forced appreciation. Because appreciation can happen in 3 ways. You buy below market value, you rehab the property in a smart way, meaning the value of your repairs is more than the cost of those repairs, and then you ride the market. When the market appreciates, your property appreciates as well, and usually more if you are in the right location, and if you have done your homework, meaning your property is the right type of property for that marketplace. So usually then you are one of those top 10% appreciating properties in that particular, or in that given market. But those are the 3 ways that you can build equity. And that's why it's so super important when you buy something. Let's say it's your long-term rental that you buy below market value. That's your first way of creating equity for yourself. And then the second way how you create is that you rehab it in a smart way. And then my calculation, or my rule of thumb, is that I need to have a minimum of 20% equity built in when I purchase and rehab, let's say, my rental. Otherwise, I don't do it. And that way I already have that buffer built in. And then if the market keeps going up, then I have more, and then I can use that equity to refinance and purchase my next one. And that's how the real estate game really works. But if you just buy always at market value, you're speculating. How can you sell as soon as possible? So price is, of course, always one of the biggest factors. So you have to understand what the price is in the marketplace, meaning what are the comps, what are the comparable properties, what do they go for? And then value. What does value mean to your buyers in that particular neighborhood? Are they more after 3-bedroom properties or 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom? Do they want heating and cooling and a jacuzzi in the backyard? I don't know. I'm just giving you examples. So if you want to sell your property in the shortest time possible, then you need to understand what people value. Is that a school district where parents want to be? Then usually they favor larger properties. Safe area. Are there parks nearby? Are there like whatnot? So if I was selling my own, I would obviously focus on high quality pictures. I would understand what the going rate is, or what the ARV or the market value is for my house, for my condo, and then I would price my my property accordingly. I wouldn't want to get more than what the market value is, because that's going to slow you down. Nobody's going to pay more than what the going rate is, because real estate is it's a very transparent game. It's a commodity, so comps are all over the place. People have the data, so it's hard to get more than what the property is worth. So you play with pricing, obviously. You play with features, how clean it is and how good the pictures are and the usual stuff. But pricing is probably the biggest bargaining chip you have as far as how quickly it sells. So, unless you are in a ultra luxury market, there is really no comps for those properties. So then it's a really different ballgame. But most of us, we deal with a commodity product, meaning if I have a rental in downtown area where many people want to live, there's lots of similar properties there. It's almost impossible for me to get more for mine than what the next door neighbor is getting. Well, I mean, I can't answer if it's worth selling or renting. You mean like if you sell it or you rent it out to somebody? You got to do the math. What are your maintenance fees or your HOA fees, your monthly expenses? So is it going to cash flow? Do you have a mortgage on it? I mean, those things come into play. And what is that you value? If you see yourself, it's not always a numbers game. What do you want to do going forward? Do you see yourself moving back to the property? Because housing, where you live, is one of those big decisions in life. To me, it's more than just a numbers game. It's not an Excel spreadsheet exercise. If I buy something for myself, of course, I want to understand that I'm not overpaying. But if there's peace of mind, if I see myself living in this one place for a long period of time, then I'm willing to potentially overpay a little bit. I'm willing to invest in the rehab so that it feels like home. So there's no price tag to that. Peace of mind is one of those things that it's hard to price, in my opinion. And therefore, I think you have to have that conversation with yourself as far as, is this something that I see myself owning for the next 10 years? If not, then I don't know, why not selling it? Well, like I just said, it's impossible to say. I mean, the question I ask myself always is that, is this property, let's say I have a rental, is this property something that I see myself owning for the next 10 years? Okay, is it good enough? Well, first of all, that's my number one criteria for buying something, assuming the numbers work. I always ask myself, is this property something that I believe in so much that I see myself owning it for the next 10 years? If the answer is no, then I'm not going to buy it. And also, if I own something, I'm going to ask the same question for myself. Do I see myself living in this place for the next 10 years, or owning this place for the next 10 years? And if the answer is no, then I'll probably sell it. It's an intuition, gut feeling type question. It's not a math problem. Many people ask math-related questions or logic-related questions regarding their own home, for instance. And I don't think you can justify buying or selling your own home using logic. I think you're going to go wrong. You have to tap into your intuition. If you don't know what that is, then have a conversation with yourself. Practice getting to know yourself. What is that you need to do now so that you don't regret it when you're 90? That's the ultimate question. If you have no clue, you have homework to do, in my opinion. And housing is one of those things. Your home is one of those questions. If you don't have any, if your intuition doesn't say anything, then then I think you just need to dig deeper. Talk more to yourself. Because it's still not sold, because many have demanded very low. So people have offered less than than you're asking. Is that what you're saying? Well, that to me is a sign that the market, keep in mind, market is always right. Okay, so let's assume SS. I don't know what that means. So keep in mind, okay, so let's say I own a house. I have a 1,500 square foot house, and I listed. Let's say I hire a real estate agent, and we have pictures taken, and it's staged, and it's all nice and whatever. And the comps indicate this, but for whatever reason, let's say the comps indicate that it's worth 500K. And then it's listed at 519 because my agent thinks that, okay, I am on a better street, I have a bigger backyard, so that justifies that 519 asking price, okay? So the agent puts the property on the MLS or whatever system you guys have in India, and then nothing happens. There's no offers, there's really no showings, there's really no interest. It could be that it's a low season, that it's just like a seasonality thing, but let's say a month or 2 or 3 goes by and still nothing. That's the market telling you that there is no demand. It's a demand and supply equation always. Then you lower the price to $499. What happens? A couple of people show up, there's one offer at $489. Now the market has told you that, okay, there is demand for this property at $489. So the original asking price, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what the reason is. It could be that I disagree with the market, but it doesn't matter what my feelings are or what my opinion is. The market is always right. It's called demand and supply. So if you are in a similar situation where you have your property, regardless of the market or the city or the system or whatever, but it's listed at X, let's say at 100,000 or 1,000,000, whatever number is, and people are offering you less, 10%, 20% less. It's the market telling you that the going rate or the value for that property is that, whatever people are offering. So we can disagree, or we can argue about it, or then we can just say that, okay, well, this is just, doesn't matter what my opinion is or what my feelings are, this is the market telling me that there is no demand for my property at million, right? It might be worth finding out why that is. It could be a seasonality thing. It could just be that, yeah, this school just ended and people are on vacation or whatever the reason is. Or maybe there was just an election going on, the interest rates spiked, or something happened. There's a seasonality thing, and we expect that everything is going to go back to normal, whatever normal means. So then talk to your agent if you have an agent. But like I said, market is always right. In the long term, market is always right. And then if you say, this is a very typical situation, by the way. So actually my mother is in a similar situation. She has a townhouse that's listed. It was listed at 339, maybe, something like that. And then nothing. That was April, May, maybe. So 4 months ago. And nothing. So then a couple of months goes by and still nothing. A couple of people show up, but no offers. Then the price was lowered to 319. Now there's more demand, there's more showings, but according to my knowledge, still no offers, right? And it could be that the right asking price for that property would have been 299. We don't know. Time will tell. My guess is that the selling price for that property is somewhere between 300 and 310, or between 290 and 310. But clearly, I think the original asking price was too high, and I think that's why it didn't sell, or there was no demand. It could be that 6 months from now, it will go for 325 all day long. But for whatever reason right now, the property hasn't sold. Again, she can be disappointed, she can disagree with that, or she can just accept the fact that it is what it is, because market is always right. It could also be that the pictures were bad, the real estate agent was bad. There could be many reasons for that, but it doesn't really matter. Given the variables and the parameters of that package, it did not attract better offers. So then you have to understand what are the variables, and then you either fix the variables, or then you wait and see what happens with somebody else. But we can always, we often make the mistake of letting our own feelings and opinions cloud our thinking and decision-making process. Thinking that, okay, well, we disagree. It doesn't fucking matter what our opinion is. You know what I mean? I'm not disrespecting you or your property in any way, but there should be no emotions involved. It is what it is. This is the best I'm getting. Maybe I just priced the property wrong. Maybe I can still get my original asking price if I have this, this, and that. So if you want to get to the bottom of it, talk to people. But I can't help you if there's like no outsider can help you. The people who can help you are the ones who play local games. The ones who buy and sell in your market, in your postal code or in your zip code. And that would typically be either investors in the area or real estate agents. And of the two, I would lean towards real estate agents. I would ask them to give me comparables, sold comparables, not active listings. That means nothing. Okay, don't look at active listings. Look at sold comparables. Do you understand the difference? A sold comparable, a selling price is the price that, that's, a sale price is the intersection between demand and supply. See what I mean? That's where you have proof that demand met supply. Before that, there is no handshake, so to say. A sale price is always, or sold comparable is always proof that this is when demand met supply. So those pieces of evidence are the ones those are the ones that you should be looking for. Sold comps, not active. Doesn't matter what people are asking. I could ask 400 for a 300,000 property. That's not a comp. It's not a comparable. It doesn't mean anything about my property value. By the way, I was born and raised in Finland, but I'm a dual citizen, U.S. and Finland. I've lived in the States for many, many years. Yeah. But this is no different when it comes to any other business. If I'm selling t-shirts online, let's say I sold these t-shirts. Yeah, nice meeting you too. If I sell t-shirts online, it's the same exact thing. If I launch, let's say I have a website, I have a online store where I sell t-shirts. I specialize in navy blue t-shirts with the logo on it. Okay, I can't use this logo because it's owned by Hugo Boss, but anyhow, if I advertise my t-shirts at $29.99, and I have basically no buyers, it means that demand didn't meet supply. I have to lower my price or improve my quality or fix my website or whatever the reason is. That's why we have to find out. That's why business is so interesting, that you always go behind the scenes and you try to understand what's going on, right? I don't know. I have no opinion. I'm sure there are, India is a big country, what 1.5 billion people? So I'm sure there's plenty of opinions out there in the world, but what difference does it make? That's noise. That's just noise. What do people think about me? Some people like me, some people hate me, right? I'm guessing, or don't like me. It's irrelevant. I think India is population-wise a superpower, economy-wise almost there, I guess. So for sure it matters. So if you're big enough, there's going to be plenty of opinions. There are so many Indians all over the place, so I'm sure people have an opinion. But again, I don't think it matters. Take care. Yeah. So, but I mean that's a good segue as far as what the last question was. That's a good segue to opinions overall in life. Um, I have no plans to visit India right now, no, but you never know in the future. Actually, I've traveled extensively in Asia, but India I've never been to. Well, I worked for Nokia Telecom, the cell phone maker back in the day. I had a long 10 plus uh, corporate career, um, 10 plus year corporate career, I should have said. And I traveled pretty much to every single other major nation in that region besides India, and it was surprising that I never managed to get there. But most of my suppliers or contacts were in China, Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong, in that area, Japan. So never went to India, but would like to visit for sure. Yes, India is a big country. But anyhow, what I was about to say is that overall opinions. This is one of my favorite topics in life overall that um, we're just way too concerned about, and I've been on the same boat to a certain extent. I still am on the same boat. We are way too concerned about what other people think about how we, I don't know, live our lives or what kind of opinions we have or how we want to do things because, and it's understandable. It's understandable when there is no validation. We desperately look for validation in life, and people closest to us, family members and friends, and they can whisper in our ear, and it's easy to listen to them, but it's also could be very misleading. And you hear me say this probably every time I have a live broadcast that I think we all in the business of blocking 90% of all the noise and all the information in the world because probably 10% only applies to us. And the reason why it's so hard is because going solo and trusting your own values and being your own boss and living life on your own terms is so hard. It's just, I mean, it gets lonely. And that's why we desperately want that validation and approval of others. But it's also very dangerous, especially in the modern world where there's just so many people telling you what to do, and there's just so much information out there. And that's why I think if we're able to keep in mind that life is actually very simple, we make it complicated. And how can you simplify your life? It's by understanding that 90% of all the information that's out there is just complete bullshit. It's noise. And that's why I think it's just one of the most important things to learn how to filter. And knowing that you're actually in the business of saying no to most of the things. And then just by saying no to most of the things, you are saying yes to the things that truly matter. Because knowing what to want is always the first step. You just don't try to boil the ocean. Many people make the mistake, and they keep making this mistake their whole life, that they just try to get everything. It's just like this and that because everybody else is after those same things. And they never stop and pause and reflect as far as what's truly important to me. And I think that's really, it's understandable, but it's a shame, because I don't think you can ever be happy that way. You just follow everybody else's dreams and not your own. Let's see what else is going on. Jesus Christ. Yeah. getting ready for my meeting in half an hour. That's when I have my client meeting. I was supposed to have my a meeting with my social media manager now between 3 and 4 my time here, but that got rescheduled. So I have a little different agenda today. So usually you hear me talk to my content guy about the way we should move with things going forward and stuff. I can't speak today. I'm like, oh my God, maybe I didn't sleep enough. But yeah, so usually this 3 to 4 p.m. time slot is reserved to a meeting with my content guy, and then 4 to 5 p.m. is a meeting with my client. But I'm going to keep working here. I'm going to keep this live going. So this is going to be an interactive session. I have a new video to get ready for. I'll prepare for. So today's going to be, my next one is going to be released today. And then this one, what today is today? Tuesday. So probably Tuesday, Wednesday, I prep. I think I will record on Thursday again. So hopefully Friday, Saturday is when the one after that comes out. And I'm going to be talking about, what am I talking about? How I find endless opportunities in real estate. 9 ways, actually 10 ways. 10 ways I get deals, and the 4 systems that turn them into contracts. Yeah, that's my plan for the next video then. So it's all about finding opportunities. Real estate is a game where you're actually in the business of finding opportunities. And how do you do that? You talk to the people who control the inventory, and most of the inventory is controlled by homeowners and real estate agents. And my next video then, after the one that's going to be released today, is going to be about finding those opportunities. So like this, like that. Yeah, so 10 ways to find deals and 4 systems to turn them into contracts. So first step is to create attention. So that's why you market. The second step is you convert that attention into now contracts, deals, opportunities in this case. First one is called marketing. The second one is called sales. Marketing is always one too many. Basically, you just create attention. People contact you, they get interested, they fill out the form, they call you, they send you an email or whatever. And then how you convert that attention is called sales. And you can obviously optimize both. First, get as much attention as possible, and then increase your conversion rate, which is also very useful. So that's what I'm going to talk about next. So hopefully this is going to be useful to people. I think this is going to be even longer than my new video. This is probably going to be a half an hour, 40-minute video. So I've never done those. So, but now that I think about it, I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I'm like, what the fuck was I so stupid that I thought that these like superficial 5 to 10 minute, what's the right word? Just like, I don't know. They're more like promotional videos more than just a deep dive. And I'm all about value. So if I talk about providing value, how come I didn't understand earlier then that I just need to go as deep as possible with the content? I don't know. There's just so many. I guess and it doesn't really matter what the reason is, but at least the explanation is that there's just so much noise as well, and there's just so many things to optimize and remember that sometimes you lose. I mean, you don't see the forest anymore just looking at individual trees, and that's really the same thing I was just lecturing about 5 or 10 minutes ago, how we should be able to block 90% of all the noise out there. Because I'm victim of that same mentality and same behavior, if you think about it. So it's like now I'm concluding that, okay, I kind of lost my way a little bit with my content. So how can I get back on track? I get back on track by asking myself, again, living in this 1-day cycle, what's today's signal? Okay, yeah, I've understood for a long time that today's signal is that, okay, prep, get ready, prepare, or record. That's it. But as far as the videos go, because maybe I've spent too much time on my title, thumbnail, description, and hashtags and keywords and whatnot, and really forgetting the bread and butter, the 90% of the equation, which is the content itself. And like, okay, so instead of doing a lot of volume, which was fine in the beginning because I did that just to acquire data, to understand what works and what doesn't work. But once you have enough data, I think I released 172 long videos over the last year and 4 months, so 5 months. That's quite a few, I think. How many weeks is that? 52 weeks in a year, 26 weeks in half a year. So let's assume it's 52 plus say 20, so it's 72 weeks. And if I have 172 videos, that's over 2 per week. That's a lot. Anyhow, well, I don't know if it's a lot, but I think it's pretty good as far as being able to acquire data. So now that data, when I look at that, which I did by the way, we analyzed all of the videos that work better than the others and what's common between them and whatnot. And then me and my social media guy, we just kept kind of like quote unquote arguing back and forth. Okay, is this title good? Is this thumbnail good? And then it's like, I don't know. It's like, when you go sometimes too deep into the topic itself, you don't see the big picture anymore. Even though I've always said that I'm good at recognizing patterns and connecting the dots and seeing the big picture, but on this one, it took me a little while to see that actually I think the thing that I'm missing is depth. Really being able to go deep and just explain things and not worry about how quick I can transition from my hook to my message or any other vanity metrics, so to say. And I don't know if my vanity metrics are going to improve in any way short term with this new way of delivering my message, but I think it's the best strategy going forward. And time will tell, because there's no point worrying about it because I always get what I deserve. So if I'm good enough, I will get what's right for me. So then I just have to get better. But anyhow, so that's how I look at it now, and I'm kind of excited about it. And I'm still thinking about these tactical things as far as how to deliver the message. Last time, or the video that's going to be published today, I sat here by my desk. Well, would I be there by my whiteboard is? And how do I then go through my notes? Because if I have a 30 or 40-minute video, I just can't like freestyle it. I have to have my notes and my content next to me. Yeah, I could have a projector and project that there, but I don't have one right now. I guess I could have my laptop next to me, but I don't want to kind of like look at it too much. So I could have my notes like this, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe sitting here at my desk is the best way to do it. So I'm just like, thinking out loud here now and just sharing in case this is helpful to anybody. If you're in the same boat with your content, if you are creating content online or thinking about it, there's always that never-ending question about quality versus quantity. And I think ultimately you have to do both. But I'm a big believer in doing a lot of volume in the beginning just to understand what works and what doesn't. Because people are, by default, I think we are perfectionists, especially when we start, because we are so insecure about being in front of the camera and not really sure if this resonates, what I talk about and how I look, and if people think I look stupid, or do I have a funny accent, or I don't know, all kinds of stupid stuff, right? So for so many reasons, it makes sense to do a lot of volume in the beginning so that you really numb the pain and the fear. Let's say in this case, if most of us don't like being in front of the camera in the beginning, me included. I didn't like it in the beginning, now I enjoy it. So you have to do a lot of it to get used to it. And then it's a completely different ball game to be able to simplify your message in front of the camera when in the back of your mind, you always know that, okay, I can't really be here forever. I need to kind of nail it. I have to be able to be simple, straightforward, add value, and not use filler words, and not pause, and be fluent, and all of that stuff. So there's so many different variables. Where do I keep my hands? Where's the microphone? I don't know, all kinds of stuff. What about lighting? What about camera? There's just so many things that you have no clue how you handle them until you start. So therefore, if I had done only one video per 2 weeks or every 2 weeks, I would have done, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 videos instead of 172. I think my learning curve would have been completely different. Now, for sure, I've made so many different mistakes, but at the same time, I also have a much better understanding as far as how comfortable I am and what things I still need to improve and what works and what doesn't. And luckily, one or two videos, quote unquote, went viral. So I'm like, okay, so what is it that made those videos perform so well? Had I done 1/3 of the volume, I don't think, first of all, my chances of having any video go viral would have been much smaller and all of that. So I think doing a lot of volume in the beginning is the only way. And then after that, once you know what you need to work on, then fix it. Obviously, it's a never-ending process, and keep doing volume. So do quality with volume. That's how I look at it. Anyhow, let me know if any questions. I have my 10 ways of finding endless opportunities. Auctions is number 10 on my list here, by the way. I'm just doing this PowerPoint thing as we go. Not a strategy for starter. Not for first timers is the right word. Works best. This might look boring, but I'm working here at the same time. So go ahead and ask me a question if there's anything. We'll be talking about, we had an active gentleman from India in the beginning asking about how to sell a property quickly, and I went on and on and on about how important it is to understand what the market value is for your property, and also saying that the market is always right. Demand and supply is a real thing. It's always there. If your property doesn't sell and people offer you less than you're asking, it means that your property is not worth what you think it's worth. So you can lower the price or try to understand if there's anything else that's broken with your listing. Pictures, the text, or those are usually marginal, but there's always a reason. So it doesn't matter what our feelings are. We might like it or we might not like it, but it is what it is. The sooner you get over that, ignore your feelings and just take action, and the better off you are. What else is going on? Anybody brave enough to ask a question or leave a comment? People say I look scary. I don't think I'm scary. I won't bite. Keep in mind, this is a remote broadcast. Yeah. Safe area. That's not my intention to look scary. Not at all. I'm just gonna look one thing up here real quick. Yeah, in 17 minutes, we're gonna talk to Gerardo, who's my client. He lives in the US, in Ohio right now. I first met him back in the day in California when we both lived in San Diego. And then we had not kept in touch, I don't know, for many, many years. And then I guess he saw me do content online, and then he reached out, and then that's how we started. So I coach him when it comes to his real estate business. He's mostly doing rentals. long-term buy and hold investor. He does flips too, so buy and sell. And I would say 70 or 80% of the conversation is more about mindset related stuff and how to make sure that he has his head in the game and is seeing the big picture and whatnot. I think this is going to be useful to other people as well. And I hope you can follow along. I mean, every Tuesday's live is centered around my content strategy. Like I said, usually I have a meeting with my content manager between 3 and 4 my time, which is right now, and then followed by this client meeting, like back to back. But my content meeting got rescheduled, so I just wanted to have kind of like an open mic, like just open mic, but like freestyle it before the 4 o'clock. So if there's no questions, I'm going to keep working here until I'll keep just doing some research here before. Speaking of working, by the way, it's hard for me to concentrate. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but I've always struggled with concentration. What I need to do is to really silence my phone and get rid of all the distractions. But like right now, my daughter just came back from her trip to London. They had this high school trip there, and she came back and she got sick and she's at home right now. And if I'm at home trying to work from there, it's just hard for me to concentrate. I hear her do stuff, and it's standard things. But the best thing for me nowadays is to come to the office, and I've come a full circle on this, 180 degrees. When I first started as an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, business owner in San Diego, like 16 years ago, I was like, it was a dream come true for me to work from home. Literally, I didn't have to go to the office, so I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But back then, my kids were probably in daycare or at school, so I had my days pretty much only to me. But then the older I got, I kind of started suffering from lack of concentration again. And now over the last, 5 years, I've really struggled actually working from home. And that's why a year and a half ago or so, I rented a small office and I moved. This one is actually not small. This is too big for me, but I moved to this one because this has better insulation in the wall. So soundproofing is better in this one, so I don't hear anybody around me. This is like a small office building, but this is a good thing. The only thing I'm missing from here is a fridge probably, and maybe a microwave, so that I would be able to bring some food here. So that's really that. But interesting. Yeah. Waiting for Gerardo to join soon. Yeah, so Gerardo is going to join us in 11 minutes. Until then, I'm going to keep working here. If there's any questions, go ahead and ask me. Today's live was not ad hoc, so I always have these on Tuesdays. But usually between 3 and 4 my time here, I have a meeting with my social media manager, and we talk about my content, the metrics, what works, what doesn't, and then after that, at 4 o'clock, there's a meeting with my clients, so I let people, so to say, join that meeting, see how I coach in real life, and what kind of conversations we have and whatnot. Of course, if there's any private topics, I mute the line. But other than that, I just keep the conversation going. But right now, since there's no question, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick here. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Put the microphone here. Let it charge a little bit. So we'll be back in just a second. Where are my keys? Okay. Okay, I'm back. I am back. No questions in the meantime. Nobody online. That's okay. I'm gonna wait for Gerardo here. Interesting. Yeah, so just waiting for my next meeting to start in 6 minutes. It's going to be a coaching call with my clients. So if you're interested in listening to that, so stay in line and you get to see what Gerardo has to say this week. We catch up once a week and then see how we can help his business going forward. I'm going to take my call now with my clients, so if you want to listen in on this, you're more than welcome. This is the weekly coaching call I have with one of my clients. Gerardo is in this call already. Hey, man. What's happening?
Just another day.
Just another day.
Just another day.
Just another day.
Another day to be grateful and be present.
That's right. We're right on. Speaking the same language.
Oh man, I'm trying. And then I like before I set up, I tell you I reset my computer so that the camera can work because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then I refresh on the notes that we spoke about last week, and it was instead of focus on negative, focus on positive, and then I put in capital letters 3 times present.
Yeah, because we talked about the past, the present, and the future, and how the only thing you have is the present moment.
Yeah.
And we don't want to make the same mistake everybody else makes, which is to focus on something that we cannot control, which is which is already written, or something that there's no script for yet, which is the thing with the future, right? So
Yeah.
the only
So
thing
it's
we
just
have, go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm just saying like just every day it's a struggle because I have so many things running through my mind about things I have to do, things I don't have, things that I'm struggling with. So I think it's giving me that opportunity to have so much of that so that I can work on it
Yeah.
more
So
often.
so do you think that's is that something that is a daily thing? That what I would call overwhelm, as far as your plate being full, and then trying to see what's relevant and what's not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so it's
How,
been a struggle, but it's I think progress, which is super important.
how do you, yeah, absolutely. How do you now, this is the conversation, this is the signal versus noise, or relevant versus irrelevant, whatever, terminology we want to use, but how do you do it right now, as far as what's your process like, or is there a process in place for you to see what's relevant and what's not?
Well, it's always just in the morning.
Mm,
Um, that's where it is because once I start working, then I'm just obviously just focusing on the work, um,
mm,
and so I'm not thinking too much about that. But when I'm waking up and I'm thinking like, man, I'm just like I got so much stuff I have, especially Mondays. I feel like Mondays are the most difficult
mm,
because I kind of like the weekend I unwind and I kind of feel like I shut myself down. Um, I feel like I need to shut myself down because the whole week's been overwhelming, and
mm.
I feel like I need a little break. And so I think, yeah,
No, I was just wondering if, what do you think, would it help if you um, took Sunday evenings as those times during the week when you would like maybe an hour, max 2 hours to prep for the following week, just to kind of like set the tone right? Or do you think it would be, or do you think it's better still to have a quiet Sunday and then just like start fresh Monday morning? What do you think?
well, I mean, I kind of start sometimes on Sunday evening. Like I just think I don't do anything physical. I just think about the stuff I need to do,
Mm,
um, and I just make sure like my mind's right. I eat well on Sunday, just to kind of prepare me for the energy on Monday. Um, but I think, but I don't do anything actual like physical, like writing anything down.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah. So, but I've been trying these last couple of days, just at at night before I go to sleep, um, just say kind of like positive stuff to myself.
yeah, yeah. I understand. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's so different. So this is one of those areas where I'm not sure if my way of working or my advice is really valuable or not. I'm going to share it anyhow. But like anything else, there is no solutions. There's only trade-offs, and I'm perfectly aware of the fact that my way of working, it's not perfect, but I prefer it over anything else, and which is to never take any days off.
I know.
which
I
is
know.
which is like, so I've always been an on or off type person. You know what I mean? So it's like the same applies to my diet. It's so much easier for me not to have anything extra. You know what I mean? Some people are like, okay, well, Saturdays I just eat a little bit of this, and then that gives me that mental break for the following 6 days, and then I can kind of like, you know what I mean? It's easier for me to stick to my diet. But
Yeah.
I'm the total opposite. I much rather just eat, 100 or 200 or 1,000 days in a row the same foods and never deviate, because if I deviate once, then I'm like, either I'm on this path or I'm on this path. You know what I mean? And that's why, as far as working goes, there's less anxiety. I have less anxiety if I work every day, and if I keep myself in that mode of working. You know what I mean? Because many people are like, okay, I need a break, I need a week off. I'm like, to me, it's stressful. It's more overwhelming. Of course, I work less, but to me, it works really well that I just change my circumstances. I might travel somewhere, and that alone gives me that fresh start. But I still work every day. You know what I mean? I might work a little less, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still keep myself in that mode. So then I don't have to kind of like restart my system, because to me, restarting is the hard part. You know what I mean? And if I did what you do, and I'm not saying your way of working is bad in any way, it might work better
Yeah.
for you. But if I did what you do, it would be really hard for me to kind of restart my engine again on Monday, because I would probably feel the same way. I would be very overwhelmed and I would feel anxious about this stuff because I haven't thought about it at all. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I am, but I'm not saying you have to copy my style in any way. I think what's more important is to understand that and make sure that you have a system in place, tools in place for those Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, when you have to make that decision every day, saying, okay, what's today's signal? You know what I mean? And then you truly understand that. And then the second part is to make sure that you keep yourself focused on that signal. You know what I mean? Because I think to many people, that's the harder part. I think many of us actually know what the focus area is. But the reason why it's so hard to actually stick to that game plan is because we don't know how to say no to stuff. It's super hard for us to silence the phone, do not
Yeah.
disturb, you know what I mean, and just do one thing. I mean, I suffer from, I mean, literally, I mean, today when I was at home before coming here to the office, I had to prepare for my next video, and I knew that I was kind of like maybe expecting a phone call regarding something else. And it's like I had to really convince myself, literally, to to
Yeah.
turn my do not disturb mode on for 2 hours. I did it, but I have to have the conversation every time with myself, and I think that's the hard part, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's understanding that without that focus, you have nothing, because then you're all the time distracted and you're going to be more overwhelmed and you get less done because you have so many priorities. Because remember, you only have that 100% capacity. It's like that 1 gallon, bottle of milk or whatever. And it's like you can pour that in 15 different glasses, or just, have that one, you know, bottle of milk. And then it's like having everything in one place is going to give you so much more volume and density and intensity and whatnot, you know what I mean, instead of spreading
Yeah.
that all over the place.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, on Monday is just, I think just the struggle of getting up. Um, but I mean, because I've been doing it so often and I have my routine set up already, as soon as I get started, then, you know, I get back on track,
Mm,
you know,
mm.
and then Tuesday's good, Wednesday's good, you know. Um, but yeah, I, I don't know. It's just I think, like when you say the weekends, like I still, and I told you this before, like there's times where it is the weekend and I can't really like sit down and then just not do anything.
Mm,
Like
mm,
there's times, I mean, all day. I mean, I guess, you know, all day. Like
mm.
obviously I maybe take this guy on a walk, or, you know, go run some errands or whatever. Um, but I I still um, I still feel like more and more that I put in work during the week, I feel like when I'm not working, I feel like I need to work.
Okay, but
You know?
okay, but would it make sense to try that over the weekend too? What if you just did like had a lighter schedule over the weekend? You know what I mean? What would it feel like if you did the exact same things 7 days a week? You kept calling people, but instead of doing 100 dialing 100 numbers, you would just do, I don't know, 25 or 50 Saturday and Sunday. So would that make you feel better and make the transition from weekend to Monday more smooth? I would argue probably, because you feel that you're not, because I think one of the reasons, because you are a very responsible guy. So I think deep down you probably think that, okay, I took 2 days off. Now I'm behind the eight ball again. You know what I mean? Now I have to work twice as hard come Monday, and that's why we feel overwhelmed, because we know that there's so many things to do. What if you we're able to lighten the load a little bit by doing some of those things Saturday and Sunday, and then would there, be less anxiety on Monday. But on the other hand, what you just said is that you can fix that by starting by taking action on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday are better. You know what I mean? So is that really a problem? I don't know. Maybe that's just the cost of doing business, cost of taking 2 days off. You know that, okay, I'm not surprised. I know that's going to happen every Monday. I know that it's just my feeling, and the feeling
Right.
is not going to kill me. It's just
Yeah.
the feeling, and I can always,
Yeah.
since you have a lot of confidence already now, I believe that you have a tool to fix those feelings, which is you taking action. You know what I mean? So come Monday, I fully expect for me to go back to zero or maybe to negative territory as far as feelings go, and it's fine. I know that Sunday. It's like I can laugh about it. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna feel like shit again. But hey, who the fuck cares? Because I can start taking action and I'm gonna fix that stuff right away. So that's the cost of doing business the way I do it, meaning doing business by taking 2 days off. And maybe you don't have to feel guilty about it. You're like, okay, I'm going to fully enjoy these 2 days. Whatever I do, I go for walks with my dog. I will go for, go to a coffee shop and do people watching. And, whatever I do, I enjoy the culture. I enjoy just being myself. And I know that the cost of doing that is that I'm going to feel like shit Monday morning. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
what? It's just a feeling. Who says that that negative feeling Monday morning can't be the best thing ever? Because it's a unique thing. You will never have the same Monday morning blues ever again. You will never have the September 1st, 2025 Monday morning feeling. So it's like, why is that a bad thing? Why can't that be the best thing ever? It's another memory in your memory bank. It's another epic story that you get to enjoy. It's like, so why do we all of a sudden label it as a bad thing? You know what I mean? And I'm not
Yeah.
criticizing you. I'm talking to myself at the same time because I suffer from those bad mornings as well. I don't like them. But then I do know that when I have this conversation with myself that, okay, why is this a bad thing? It's not. I feel like shit. I'm anxious, but this doesn't need to be a bad thing. It's another experience. It's just another end of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just, as you're talking, I'm just thinking like this, how much all of this has to do with emotions,
Mm.
you know, and I think that's one thing that I think that messes with me and prevents me from getting a lot of things done. Like when I'm done with the cold calls,
Mm.
I'm like, I need a break, you
But
know.
that's okay.
And I can't, but sometimes that break just turns into like the whole rest of the night, and
Mm.
I know I have to do stuff. Like I still have to check my numbers, to check my financials on my properties, and I haven't even done that to see, you know, the money coming in. I mean, I see my deposits and all that, and I can kind of tell how much it's supposed to be, and if it's off, then I'll check. But there's just a lot of things that I still need to work on my business, and that's probably something that I could do over the weekend because I feel like during the week I just still get super um, uh, like burnt out,
Mm.
you know. Um,
Yeah, I think that I think that's a good idea that you would maybe put those. Maybe that's a perfect weekend activity for you. So you just don't try to even do that during the weekdays, and it's like okay, weekends, Saturday or Sunday or both days, I'll just check my cash flow, money coming in versus money going out, and then I dedicate the weekdays to something else. But I think the big question I would have in my mind is that I think what you just described is that's perfectly normal, by the way. I think we are all there. We're all clueless. We're all overwhelmed all the time. So I think what you need to remember is that you're not a special snowflake in that sense in a negative way. You're just like anybody else and everybody else. Everybody suffers from the same exact thing. I have, for the record, I have days, even, I mean, like, sometimes those like the board, I mean, just like exactly like that. I sometimes I'm like, I have almost impossible time to open my my online banking application and just like check exactly to do the exact same thing you just mentioned. It's like I just but I'm okay with that because I know that I don't have to do it on that night and I'm like okay tomorrow morning I didn't sleep that well, and that impacts my productivity and my first and foremost my concentration level. You know what I mean? And when my concentration level is not there, it's like, I'm like, my shoulders feel tense, and I'm like, my knee starts to ache, and like, I'm like, fuck. I feel like I have to foam roll all the time because like my right shoulder feels like out of place. It's like then I get
Yeah.
all of these at the same time. You know what I mean? It's always
Yeah.
related to my sleep. Then all my muscle, like aches and pains and whatever, lack of recovery kicks in all of a sudden at the same time. And then I can't do this like boring mundane stuff. But then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna do it tomorrow morning. Now I can postpone stuff. That's where I'm better in terms of that nowadays. In the past, I was just like, I just have to. I have to. Because I was not able to say no to anything. But it's like, it's fine. But that's where that signal comes into play. That's why you just ask yourself at the end of the day, if you were able to complete those tasks that you were supposed to, and that means that you had a successful day. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what that today's signal means. When you live in that 1 day cycle, you ask yourself to, this morning now, today, what is today's signal? Okay, what do I need to do? Today, you need to make those 100 calls or dial those 100 numbers. Maybe there's another activity after that you have to take care of. Everything else after that is a bonus. If you completed the 100 calls or dialed the 100 numbers and whatever else you had to do, wrote this offer or followed up on a couple of other things or whatever, then that's a successful day. You know what I mean? And over time, you increase that limit, increase the intensity, and increase the volume. And that's how you get more out of yourself. And then the daily highs and the daily lows, the gap gets more and more narrow. See what I mean? So it's like the weather. So today's high is 90 and low is 50. That's not really normal. Usually when it's 90, it's probably like 70 and 90. You know what I mean? So when you
Yeah.
kind of like, when we work on that productivity part over time, then it becomes 90 and 70. See what I mean? So your maximum capacity stays there, but your daily low, instead of being 50, is now 70. That's what
Hmm.
happens.
Yeah.
I don't think you should feel guilty about doing stuff like that can be done over the weekend. Because I doubt checking your balance or your cash flow is a matter of a couple of hours or a day. It can be done on another day as well.
Yeah. It also kind of like changes. Like, I'm like, I start looking at it and it's like, I'm just like, I start looking at all the vacancies and I'm just like, fuck. So I don't even want to look at it because I have to look at, the vacancies and, all the repairs and all those expenses. So sometimes
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't put me in a good mood. But again, that's just the emotion side. And that's what I feel like is my biggest struggle is just the emotional side of it. And,
Hmm.
I just always, like, when I think about, like, living till 90 and regret, and I feel like part of me is sometimes like, I'll be fine.
You'll
I'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
You will be fine.
But but I
Sometimes it's
just
hard to
don't.
see that.
Yeah.
I know.
I
Hey,
just
let's walk. I mean, if you don't mind, let's go
Yeah.
through this for today. So give me everything that's on your plate, that's on your mind. Let's do this priority call together, if you don't mind.
Like
So today, what's? I mean, it feels overwhelming. So you have your calls, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you have your calls. What else do you think you? I mean, ideally, if you had unlimited resources and time, what else could you do today?
Uh,
Follow up on the offers, or follow up on the other wholesale deal, or what? I mean, give me some other
so
examples.
right now, I think I would focus on just getting all these units rented and getting at least my midterm rental. Um, oh, I got a listing right now. I think I got a tenant for one of my units
Okay. Oh,
potentially.
the one that was vacant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So follow
Um,
up on vacant units. Figure out what to do there. Then new tenant.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the midterm rental, I have to get a new HVAC system.
Okay.
I have to fix some items up on top.
Okay. It's the
still
same unit.
in the midterm rental.
Okay.
Um, and then I need to get it cleaned, um, and then I need to get it furnished.
Cleaning, the same rental, the same midterm,
Yeah,
and furnished. Okay.
yeah.
Anything else?
Um, in regards to that one, that would be it. Get the AC units for those other. Yeah, for at
For the
least
vacant units?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's a big list.
yeah.
So you didn't mention the what's going on with the other wholesale deal, the one that you have a buyer for. That's in escrow.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I gotta follow up on to see if they put in their EMD already.
Okay.
So I'm gonna follow up with that.
What about the other wholesale property?
I still haven't got any interest. Um, I'm gonna go to a investor meeting tomorrow, so I'm gonna present it there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. I still have more agents to contact.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, then I might see about either dropping the price and posting it again on Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and then if that doesn't happen, then maybe I'll try to negotiate with the seller again.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So in terms of, I'm looking at obviously your priorities now. Of course, money, short-term cash is one thing, right? So that's the
That's the main. I think that's the main factor of like all of my stress. And
yeah.
I think I broke out in hives. It wasn't an allergic reaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm still kind of like
Oh,
break.
right. Yeah.
I'm like breaking out everywhere still.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my whole eyes all messed up.
Are you getting? How do you treat that?
I'm just trying to manage my stress, I guess.
But there's
I
no
really
like.
don't want. I
There's
really don't like take anything.
yeah. Okay.
You
Okay.
know.
Okay. So which one of these? So if we think about time to money. So if you were to prioritize these tasks as far as time to money, meaning what that means is that okay, which one of these actions is going to help you get money faster? See what I mean? So that's what where time to money comes. So what would then the priority order look like?
The stuff that I mentioned, not including the cold calling, or
Yeah, including everything.
well, the cold calling to try to get some more wholesale deals.
Okay.
Um,
I agree with that. That has to be on your daily agenda. But in addition to that, if you already think about priority, you now have one deal in escrow. So, and then you said you need to follow up on the EMD. So that in my books, if the 100 calls is a given, you know, today, because you can do that also a little later. What I was also thinking about when you said that sometimes you feel exhausted after completing the calls, you know what I mean? What if you pushed your call schedule back to the afternoon and you dedicated your morning? That would be your fastest fix, or fastest path, quickest path to more productivity, more intensity. So now, if we know that you're going to feel drained and exhausted after completing or dialing these 100 people or 100 numbers, right? Okay. So if we played with your mind a little bit and saying that, okay, well, I have these other things I need to overall, let's say the overall theme is to increase productivity, get more done, because I feel that I'm behind the eight ball. Okay. So what I would then suggest to you is that um, I would push back the start time of these calls to 12 o'clock or 1 p.m. and say, okay, and as an example, looking at today's agenda, here's what I would do. Out of all of these items, I would follow up on this escrow EMD first. I would apply some pressure there because that's time, as far as time to money, that's right now your fastest or quickest path to cash. So I would prioritize that. After this call, I would do that first. Then the second thing I would do is I would either follow up on this new tenant listing thing. If it's not under contract, asking myself, is there something I can do to get that thing under contract? Get the deposit and get that person to sign the lease and they get that out of the way. Either that or the property number 2 wholesale deal, contacting agents, putting together a redesign package, taking a second look at my pictures, my videos, my pitch, so to say, and fine tune that. That would be my order of business. Everything else is basically secondary. These are either buying HVAC units that can wait, fixed items that can wait, cleaning can be wait. In terms of those, those would be my number one priorities. Once I've taken those, once I've got those done, then I would get to that list. And maybe that's not today's thing.
Right. I'm just, I think.
Just ideas.
Yeah, no, I just, I feel like it'll be a lot more difficult for me to get the calls in at night, in the afternoon, especially if it's, because I think it'd be easier for me to work on the overwhelm. I should still be able to. It's like, it's all. I think it's just the mindset. Like, I when I finish and when I finish my calls, yeah, I do feel exhausted, but and not all the time. Less and less now, but I unwind, I eat,
okay,
and then I feel a little bit better.
That's fine. I mean, I was just an idea, and you know yourself better, but
yeah,
sometimes it's good to look at it openly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's opportunity definitely for me to still be able to do work after I make the calls.
Yeah, and I think you should be able to.
Yeah, and I think it'll work better that way because the calls are like the toughest thing, and I want to kind of get that over with.
Understand.
Because then it'll stress me out while I'm working in the morning.
Yeah.
Thinking like, man, I still got to get these calls. Am I going to finish before this time? Or
yeah, and you have this sense of accomplishment when you get the calls done, and it also gives you more motivation and boost. Perfect. I like that, and do that. I think that's a perfect decision. But I don't know if this helped in any way, but I think you need to always prioritize your task as far as time to money. That's how I would do it. And right now, the EMD, the closest thing between you and money, or the thing between you and money, is this deal in escrow, EMD.
Right.
Is there anything I need to do there to collect my eight grand? That's your priority. Out of all of these other things, that's your number one priority.
Right.
And then after that, you ask yourself, how can I market the other one better? Or maybe the easiest thing to fix is just to follow up with this tenant, this potential new tenant. You know what I mean? I don't know how close that is. You didn't share too many details, but you know better. So is there something we can already sign? How can I get the deposit in? How can I, expedite that thing? Just get one out of the way.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do today. Follow up on that's a quick thing for you. That's a 50 if you can get a hold of somebody. Is there anything I can do? How can we expedite this? What needs to be done? Just apply, and if nothing else, just applying the pressure. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. You are the squeaky wheel now.
Yeah.
So that's your first thing. The second thing is either the new tenant or the property number 2. The new tenant might be a faster thing as well. It could be just a follow up. Hey, what can I do? When can we meet? Can we schedule something again? If that's a sure thing already. And then I would follow up, revisit property 2. What can I do there? Can I market? How many calls can I make? That then becomes the second thing. And then I would, if you have time, I would prioritize the property number, the wholesale deal number 2, and the vacant units you have. What can be done there? Brainstorm. how can I get these things moving so I don't have vacancies?
Yeah, I had already updated the listing description. I sent out a ChatGPT version of it to my property manager. She also said that she's finding that with their rentals, it's picking up right now. Um, so I guess that's good.
That's a
That I'm
good thing.
gonna follow up to see if we got a lease signed or if she actually went to go look at it because I think they had just applied before actually looking at it, and the application looked good. But I
Yeah.
think she still had to show them the unit, so
Okay. Okay.
I'll follow up with her on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, applying pressure there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
those little things could be, I mean, like make a big difference as far as a week or 2 weeks in terms of when you get your money.
yeah, right. And I'd love to be able to get it before I go on my trip.
Oh, that's the Mexico thing.
Yeah, yeah,
How was your Cleveland thing, by the way? Did you go?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. I had a lot of fun, but again, there's just like fuck, man. There's still something in the back of my head that I can't really enjoy it because I just have so many things going on here, you know. But I did enjoy a big part of it. I went to a nice little waterfall hike.
Mm.
Um, that it was kind of like the biggest ones there,
Mm.
um, and played a couple tournaments. Um, saw an air show. That was fun. I didn't actually like we. I just found a spot. It was one. So I think on Saturday I had gone to the a tournament in the morning, and then I went to go eat breakfast downtown.
Mm.
And one of the servers told me about an air show that was happening.
Mm.
And she told me, oh, I would park in the city building. So I kind of looked it up. Um, and I was able to find some other areas along the water that had a lot of parking. So freeway there, I see a big old patch of grass on the right side where there's just a bunch of cars parked. Obviously, I mean, not on the freeway, right? But there was like another street, you know.
Mm.
And so I'm like, I just exited the next exit and I went to go look around there. And yeah, I was able to find parking and I had my coffee with me and, I had my dog with me. And so, yeah, man, we were literally right under it. Like
Nice.
yeah, man, it was crazy. And it's funny because, you know, they say, they keep their dogs away from firecrackers or loud noises, but my dog just can't really hear that well. So I was looking at him, he wasn't even flinching. He was just chilling in the back, you know.
That's good.
But that was a highlight too. Then I went to um, one of their beaches,
Mm-hmm.
one of their better reviewed beaches.
Okay.
So spent some time there, walked around the park, and then went down to a little bit. The dogs weren't allowed on the beach, but there was a small little hidden section that I kind of took them to. We didn't get in the water, but it was just enough for us to be able to sit down and just kind of enjoy the view, you know.
Nice. Nice.
So,
But those are the things that you remember at the end of the day, right? All those
yeah,
memories. So that's why you
yeah,
have to do them. So, and you just have to work on turning that mind off and just understand that, these are once in a lifetime things that you do. And then
right,
if you didn't, you would regret it at the end of the day.
right, right. And those mornings were really nice, man. Just watching the sunrise, walking him, and just the weather. The last couple of weeks have been super nice, and it just reminds me so much of San Diego. And I had a lot of nostalgia from, you know, when I would walk to school, or I'd see like, dads taking their sons here to
Mm.
get picked up by the bus, and then looking at the bus and remembering like the field trips and stuff like that. So I had a lot of good memories
Nice.
in the mornings when I was kind of getting nostalgic and just being grateful,
Yeah,
that I
that's
got the
good.
opportunity to be in those situations and
And
remember those.
try to record those. Take notes as well. Take pictures and
So
take notes.
yeah, so I've been kind of vlogging a little bit for myself um, when I can, but at the same time too, like sometimes I'm just like I gotta just because I don't. It's really hard to explain when I try to be present. but I
I know
feel,
exactly what you mean. It's hard to
and
take pictures then and whatnot. I know.
yeah, but it's more of like when I try to be present and not be around all that, I still feel like I'm dreaming. I don't feel like there's been times where it's like, boom, yeah, I feel present, you know. But most of the times when I try to be present, I feel like I don't know if I just try too hard and I
Mm,
don't. I feel I don't. I'm more in my head, just thinking I need to be present, I need to be present, but I don't get present because I'm just trying too hard to be present. And I
yeah.
get this feeling of like I feel like I'm in a dream,
Oh, okay.
you know. Um,
How can you
and
activate that? Is there a pattern?
I don't know. No, I've been, you know, I honestly, I've been struggling with this since my mom passed away.
Hmm. Meaning being able to
Yeah,
be present or
yeah,
activating that part.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But again, there's been moments where I do feel like my whole energy, you feel it being present. That's I guess that's a better way of explaining it. Like when I'm trying to be present, I don't feel it in my body. But
Hmm.
there's times where it's like, oh shit, yeah, I feel present now. Like I feel it all over my body.
Okay,
Like I
so
feel alive.
I don't know if this helps you, but this works for me because I've always been a how should I explain this? I've always been the person who sees I can recognize patterns really well. I can connect the dots and see the big picture. That's why if you think about where I want to live or where I travel, I mean it's like my property right now. It's overlooking the water. I can see kind of like you know what I mean. The big picture is
Yeah,
always important to me. My vacation home is by the water. I can see. I mean it's like that's really important to me because I feel like somebody's literally choking me if I just like stare at the neighbor's wall and it's like if I don't have kind of like that kind of space around me. But it doesn't really work when I try to be present. Then I have to remind myself to look close, see the small stuff. I'm all about the big picture in everyday life as far as like like planning my next steps and what are the patterns, what are the things that I'm missing, you know what I mean, as far as the big picture. How do I develop my business, how do I grow my channel, how do I get more out of this thing? It's all about connecting the dots and it's like seeing the whole pattern. But that serves me well in certain parts of my life, but if I want to be really fully present, I literally need to look close. I need to kind of like turn that side of my brain off and
mm,
make a conscious decision to look close and see the details and not the big picture. I don't know if that you're probably different, but that works for me. Let's say
yeah,
I'm in an elevator. I'm like I start or like I'm somewhere outside at this park sitting on the park bench. I have to start looking close. I start paying attention to the way this thing was crafted. I need to look at the bolts and
mm,
the nuts, and I need to look at the grass next to me. I need to start looking at the
yeah,
fence or like literally like the tiny little details, and that
yeah,
helps. Sometimes if I look at like water always is a good element, sun, but other than that,
yeah,
I need to look
yeah,
close. I don't know, maybe you want
yeah.
to try that, but it's just what
Yeah,
works for me.
I will. Maybe thinking back to it, like there have been times where I think I've been focusing on that um, has been making me feel like present. Like the last time I remember is just with him. I try to wake up every morning, and then before I do anything, I just lay down next to him, and then just pet him,
Mm,
and and that kind of makes me feel a little bit present.
mm.
But there's and yeah, I agree. I think that definitely helps. Um, but there's just been these other like magical feelings, like where I just feel it all over my body, and it's just hard to explain. Um, and maybe I'm just putting too much pressure on that, and not just like you said,
Yeah, I
just
think
focusing on the little stuff.
yeah,
You know?
I think so too. I think you said it perfectly. I don't apply too much pressure. Just like try to recognize the details, the little
Yeah,
things. Like
yeah.
I mean, yeah, nice sharpie,
But I think also right now it just kind of makes me feel too like it's all like it has to do with emotion, man.
Mm.
Probably need to go to a therapist or something. But um, there, it's crazy where I've had just some thoughts where it's just like, man, I'm never gonna walk here again.
Mm.
Like this is the last time I'm gonna walk here.
Mm.
Um, and then I go back and I think about like the places that I've been that
Mm.
it's like, dude, like it felt like it was just yesterday that I was
Mm.
there, you know, and it's just like I'm never gonna go back to.
So you
So
mean
it's
that's a
all
good or
just.
bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing because
Mm.
again, it's kind of just thinking about the past,
Mm.
um, in not such a positive way because I'm just basically thinking like life's going by so fast. It's
Mm.
kind of the mentality behind that.
I have that thing with people. Places I don't, because places I know that I can always go back to. But the reason why I've been terrible at saying no to people, I think, is because, and I think I've fully understood this now over the last, I don't know, 5 to 6, 7 years maybe. But I still find it hard, and that this is why I started. Like this is for the. I mean, there's only a couple of people online here, but uh, so like when I've been dating, when I've been seeing people, one of the reasons why I wanted to, uh, like meet a lot of people, let's say, crank up my volume, was to because I understood that I was terrible at saying byes and saying no's because I felt like I would never potentially see this person ever again because everybody has their good qualities, you know what I mean, their unique qualities. That's
Yeah.
why I felt that I had to practice that. So I had to expose myself to new people, more volume, more meetups, more dates, more this, more that, so that I would also have to say no to more people and get better at it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
recognize that it's hard for me when I'm like, okay, I meet somebody, I, maybe go out on a couple of dates or whatever, and I'm like, okay, man, this person has these good qualities, and now I'm going to say no and walk away in a polite way, of course, but I know that I'm never going to see this person again, never ever again, and that's been hard for me. Never with places because places I can go back to. There's no real like that kind of emotions in play. But then what helps me is that I'm like, I mean, this might sound brutal, and I've said this to you in the past, but I just keep repeating this one thing to myself that I deserve nothing. I'm grateful for everything and everyone. So I turn it upside down like, who says that I deserve these great people in my life, or who says that I deserve these great places or these great memories or whatnot? By default, we add zero. If we do nothing, we get nothing. So we don't deserve anything. There's like people get disappointed in life because they think that they deserve to be treated this way, or they deserve to make a lot of money, or they deserve to be, they deserve to get a promotion or not get fired. Fuck no. There is nothing. You deserve nothing by default. Okay. I mean, this is, I know, one in a million way of looking at it, but it works for me. And I'm like, okay, if the status quo or default, starting point is zero, so you get nothing, you deserve nothing. Everything you get, every new person you meet, every place you go, you got to be grateful for it. I'm grateful for everything and everyone. I'll turn it upside down. It's like, okay, so if I'm sad that I'm never going to see this person, it's like, okay, well, why am I sad? Because to begin with, I deserved nothing. You know what I mean? So it was just a bonus for me. It was
Yeah.
all positive. So why would I feel sad about that thing? Because the thing I got was just so much more than nothing. You know what I mean? So everything by default is a positive experience. It's
So,
taken me many years to get to that point, and I'm not
yeah.
perfect in fucking any way. Far from that, but I can activate that part of my brain right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I notice that feeling of being sad or like, oh, I'm never gonna see this, so it's like, okay, well, why do I feel sad? Because if I feel sad or disappointed, it means that I'm entitled to this person or to this feeling. No, I'm not entitled to anything. I flip it because it's all a positive. So it's like I'm grateful for the opportunity, for the person, for everything that I got.
Right. Right. And I think that's definitely the key is just being able to activate that switch when you need to, and
Absolutely.
that's
Instead of
that's
feeling
where
sad, it's like, why do I feel sad? There's nothing to feel sad about because yesterday or when I was born, I had nothing. I didn't have this. So I created this moment. I created this person to be in my life. I learned something, no matter how short that encounter was, it's like I still learned something. I got something out of that. So I'm like, I'm better off. So I should be grateful.
right.
I think it's all about how we repackage those things in our mind.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just remembering you have that switch, you
Exactly.
know. And I think that being grateful every day that you talk about, um, that helps out a lot. Um, and then just um, just thinking just the stuff that we've talked about, thinking about 90 years old
Mm,
and regret, you know, but it's just, for me, is just like trying to remember to activate that because sometimes
mm,
my emotions end up taking
mm,
over, and it's like I gotta just disrupt that and go back. But I think just my old self just always just try to uh, be my biggest support,
mm,
whether it was good or bad.
mm,
I always just try to support myself.
mm,
It's like, no, good. Like you, you messed up here, or you got rejected here. Oh, you're good. You're good. You'll be fine. You know. And I think I've just gone throughout my life thinking that was the good thing.
mm.
You know. Which, I mean, it helps, but it also kind of puts me more in the victim mentality, kind of. You know. And that's what I've been doing my whole life.
Mm, mm,
Just to kind of get, that's crazy. I'm gonna write this down. I feel like I just had a breakthrough here.
mm. That's good. Yeah, when you're done, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was about to say is that so first of all, keep in mind that so rule number one, change is unbelievably hard. It can be done, but it is super hard. And the reason why you struggle with the same topics is not that you are not making progress. You definitely are, but you just need to have more volume, more reps so that these tools can be activated automatically
Mm-hmm.
down the road. That's the whole point.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
have news for you. I don't want to disappoint you, but you will always have these same struggles. But the biggest change is going to come in two ways. Number one, you don't anymore expect these troubles or this adversity to go away because you are like, okay, this is given. You know that you have the same number of challenges every day. And now that you know it, because you have confidence, because you have tools, you're like, okay, I don't care. It doesn't matter because I know how to deal with those, how to cope with that stuff, that thing, and then it gets easier and easier all the time. But it will never go away. It's the same thing as expecting life to be without trouble or without adversity. And that's why people get disappointed because they like I had this conversation with my this is like a side topic and I'm not throwing my ex-wife under the bus in any way. She's the greatest person on the planet, but she has her limitations like I do and we all do, right? So she calls me yesterday. And it's like she's been wanting to sell the unit that she lives in. This the townhouse project that I did when I like first one of my first major renovations, 16 units in this historic building, and I basically gave away one of those units to her, almost literally. And now it's worth almost. She's probably gonna get 400K for it, and she owes 120. Okay,
Wow.
and she has lots of equity, and she's been wanting to sell it, and now there's a buyer even without her even listing it potentially. I mean, most likely. And now she's like calls me yesterday. It's like, okay, well, what do I do now? It's like, well, it's like this and that, and I'm like, look, it's just like just trying to create problems for yourself. Look, this is just what you wanted, and now you're trying to live in your comfort zone so that the problems would all of a sudden go away. You have to be, you have to understand that problems never go away. You will always have the same number of challenges in your life. And now the reason why it's so hard for you is because you think that there's a right answer and a wrong answer. And it takes time. What am I going to buy next? And what am I going to do this? It's like, take your time. You don't have to cross all those bridges right now. And the reason why you're delaying your decision making is because you think that there's like, you need to have more time on your side so that you find the perfect answer in the marketplace or in your life. There is no perfect answer.
Right.
Get that thing out of your head that there's a right answer and a wrong answer. When you do that, you make the cost of making decisions high. Your job is to make the cost of decision making low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that you make decisions like that and you stop thinking about right or wrong. Oh, I messed up. No, you didn't mess up. You actually either got the epic story or the desired outcome. Those people who are trying to find the perfect answer, they are overwhelmed, they are paralyzed, and it's the fear that kicks in. It's like you need to lower the cost of decision making, I tell her. Like lower the cost of decision making. Keep making decisions because what's the worst case? Are you going to die? Did somebody get sick? No, it doesn't fucking matter. And then most likely you're going to be happier down the road with that epic story because you learned more. So lower the cost of decision making.
Yeah.
And people try to make things, I mean, I'm no perfect either, but I'm like, I guess I think that, nowadays I know what the right strategy is, and then I just have to remind myself every day, to stay on the right path. And it's not easy, but when we get paralyzed and we try to think that, okay, well, I have to find the perfect answer, I have to find no, there is no perfect answer. Just make a decision and move on.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Think and Grow Rich or how to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but it was one of those books. I think that they had talked about, I think about Andrew Carnegie or one of those big businessmen or I don't know if it was Ford's, whatever. They basically he was in that same situation, or somebody came up to him with that same situation, and he's like, "You just make a decision, yeah, but if it's what if it's the wrong one? Then you'll deal with it when it becomes. But the fact that you're taking too long to make a decision is gonna throw your business under the bus. It's like the ability to be able to just make decisions and then deal with the consequences afterwards, or it's gonna get you a lot further."
Correct. And it's like, there's always going to be something. And if we try to avoid, the other thing is that if we try to avoid those bad decisions, it's the same thing as trying to live in our comfort zone, because ultimately that's what it is. You try to avoid the bad outcomes because you're afraid of exiting your comfort zone. And if you never exit your comfort zone, you never learn, you don't grow, you do the same, you're trying to do the same things. It's like I told her again that you're trying to simplify your life so much that it's like it's everything is predictable. You know that, okay, I know I have to save for my retirement. It's like look, it's like, why do you worry about stuff like that? You're gonna have so much equity after this. You're gonna buy a free and clear property after this because she's gonna downsize. And then you're gonna put together a system where you save X amount every month because you don't no longer have mortgage. So it's like that look at your situation. You're like fucking 48. So you have next you will have a free and clear property. So you have no mortgage. So whatever you paid up until now, you're gonna save if you want to play it the smart way.
Right.
So you're gonna put 500 euros or 1,000 euros or whatever every month into a low cost index fund. You're gonna wait for 20 years, plus you have a free and clear property and the fucking extra money from the sale. It's like, and you're stressing about your retirement. Why are you creating these scenarios? I mean, like you're gonna tie yourself in knots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steady income is like, it's all relative.
But you just got to make sure that she makes that decision, because a lot of people, they live above their means.
Yeah. But I'm not criticizing. I'm just perfectly normal. But you can't just like live in your comfort zone, because I think that's safest bet for you to regret something down the road.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, but you'll in your case, as far as the overwhelm goes, I don't know. I would maybe one thing came to my mind as a practical tool. So what if you wrote down everything on a piece of paper every morning that you have? Sometimes it clarifies the topic surprisingly well when you write it down for yourself. You know, you have to organize your thoughts, you write it down, and then you look at it in front of you instead of that being in your mind. And then take a picture of it and send it to me too. We can also, I mean, time zone wise, well, I mean, no, actually, it's a good timing for you. I mean, it's this time of the day. So you can send it over. If you have a bad day, you know, as far as being overwhelmed, what do you think I should do? List the 15 things. Let's go back and forth a little bit with the priorities, and that might give you clarity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So just, yeah, I think because right now when you told me like give me everything that that's stressing me out, and it's just like well, it's not really a lot when you think about it. I
That's
guess.
what I mean. It's like when you write it down, it's like then you look at it, it's like, okay, well, it's like the worst. What's the worst case? At some point, my vacant units, I mean, I'm gonna find a tenant,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, let's go over them. Okay, so calls, you have proof that you can complete those calls even half asleep. That's not a problem. Follow up on vacant units. At some point, they're gonna find their tenants. New tenant finding the lease, slam dunk, will happen. Midterm rental HVAC, you've done that a million times. Fixing minor items, you've done that a million times. Cleaning, anybody can do it. Getting it furnished, you've done that a million times. AC units for vacant units, again, part of that same category of you having done that. Escrow, EMD, one phone call. Property number two, investor meeting. All this stuff is standard for you. Think about it. You have created the and nothing wrong. I'm not blaming you. We do. I mean, I do that same stuff all the time to myself. I shoot
Yeah.
myself in the leg. You know?
Yeah, and then I think the biggest one is the midterm rent. So I think once I get the because that's the one that's like fuck. That's the one I have to invest the most money on right now, and I'm trying
Okay.
not to invest
What
money.
needs what can be done there to find tenants there? Can you lower the
So
price still?
I'm already getting requests, but the house is not ready yet,
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't know the process if requesting how easy it is that once they request it to actually get them to actually move in. But I went. There's a girl here that's doing that a lot, and she had a presentation done on Thursday, and I kind of asked her all the questions that I had because it's like I don't want to be spending, $500 to $700 per room to furnish it, um, if I don't have anybody. Like I wanted to furnish it after I have somebody because a lot of times they have like 2 weeks before they move in.
Mm.
But she was just telling me how she just gets the most basic stuff and she just gets it going first, and then as you're starting to get more people, then you can just upgrade the stuff.
Mm.
She's like, I don't get a huge bed frame with they just with the headboard or anything like
Mm.
that. She's like, I just get the basic one with no
Mm.
headboard,
Mm.
and then just get a basic, mattress,
Mm.
um, and then that's it. And I would look at her listings, and they just look so basic, and all she has just maybe two nightstands or like a dresser and then two side tables. So it's just like I don't think it's going to be that much more. So I'm just going to focus on getting the HVAC done, get it cleaned up, and then I'm just going to put everything on credit cards and just
Or
try to get.
can you just stage that with AI and basically say that this is what it's gonna be, or is it just more for the physical showings actually that the pictures are not enough?
Yeah, I think because they would need to come by and look at it.
Yeah, I understand. But and then stupid question about midterm. So could this be? I'm just thinking if it's could this be a long term rental as well, or what? why does he again, stupid question, but why does it have to be a midterm rental? What made you make that call?
Because I wanted to try to see if I can get more cash flow.
Okay.
So I think I can rent it long term for like $1,100 or $1,200. The midterm, I think I can get like 2,800, 2,800, maybe even more.
Okay.
But that's why I want to try it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Got it. But that's a backup plan for you. Should you have both listings available, running in
Long
parallel?
term and midterm.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Right
I was
now.
thinking of it. Well, yeah, I guess I could. Um,
So I mean, if you have somebody who's interested in moving in right away as a long-term rental, and you like the tenant, I mean, does anything? I mean, do you have to do the midterm, or is it just a, like you said, it's a test platform for you? So you said,
right, yeah. It was just a test platform for me to try it out and see if.
but what if you just like activate the listing right away, and see if there's somebody who wants to take it, and then you could do it after a year or whenever they move out, right? Or with some
Right.
other unit. If
Yeah.
cash is a priority, maybe you just, what I would do, it's good that we discussed this, I would actually just post that long-term rental ad right away.
And then just because I mean, I can rent it for 11 or 1,200, I think.
Mm.
So my payment's probably like $800.
Everything?
So just principal, insurance, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, I think,
Okay.
but not
Like maintenance and
like
stuff?
repairs or maintenance stuff like that. Yeah, and then property manager too.
Well, how much is that property manager going to take?
They take 10%.
Okay, well, it gives you, let's say you still have $200 of positive cash flow every month, right?
Yeah,
After that.
yeah, that should.
Okay,
If
how
I
much
get a rent,
how much do you have to invest in the furniture in
probably like
include,
probably like 3 grand, 3 or 4 grand.
okay, and then the midterm rental is usually for how many months, like 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and have you looked at the vacancies, I mean, like, and platforms as far as where to post the ads and stuff like that, so you've looked at.
Yeah, I have it right now on Furnish Finder.
Okay.
And that's that, and then I would have it on Airbnb, but I don't think I have it on Airbnb yet.
Okay, got it.
It's not
No,
ready.
I mean, it's the numbers really, I mean, if you get that much, the numbers really make sense. But if you get 2,800 a month and you put 3 to 4 grand in it, obviously, so in 2 months you get that money back. But then do you need a property manager for that, or would you do it yourself to find that, or would they still do that?
Yeah, I would do it myself.
Okay,
That one.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's worth, checking it out and seeing if it works. But nothing stops you from posting it. Put
Right.
like 1,200,
Yeah.
1,250. I don't know. Well, of course, run the comps, but maybe at least
Yeah.
1,200, and see
Yeah.
if you just like, for whatever reason, you want to prioritize the long-term rental, then you at least know that it's positive, because now every month you don't get anything, so it's like then
Right.
at least it
Right.
would cash
Yeah.
flow.
Right. And this is like the thing is, so and then they're telling me that they want me to replace both the furnace and the AC unit, because if they replace the furnace and then the AC is messed up, then they'd have to it costs more to get that installed. So I'm just wondering if I should just get both of them installed.
Mm, yeah,
So
or
that's
the
gonna be like 5 or 6
HVAC contractor.
grand. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, probably. Well, those have to be in order, especially if it's a short term. I mean, in any case, I mean, they have to
yeah,
be.
yeah. Just the AC unit looks like it's in good condition. It doesn't look that old, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would at least post it and see what kind of interest you get,
Yeah,
the ad.
yeah. Okay. I
So,
think I will do that.
yeah, but I think that's how you can prioritize that. So, what takes me closest to cash, and then
Yeah.
that would be one way to prioritize. And reach out if there's any, if I can do anything, like
Okay.
on a daily basis. So if you're having a hard morning, or if you feel overwhelmed or whatever, so just like reach out. Let me know what I can do to help.
Okay. Will do, sir. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. Take care.
All right.
Okay.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
Bye,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we got one person on the line. So that was my coaching call with Gerardo. And yeah, no, that last person dropped. So that's it for the day. It's been a little over 2 hours, so I'll have another live at least on, I think on Friday night. I'm probably gonna have one, and then go from there. But I gotta get home and eat something and get going with my day. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining.